Hi, I'm CeCee Torres with IdeateTV here at the LA Comic Con. I'm with the creators of Dear Rosie, and this is Meghan and Rachael. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Meghan Boehman. I'm the co-creator of Dear Rosie. We wrote and illustrated this comic together.
Yeah, and I'm Rachael. I also did half story, half drawing, and a crazy process, but yeah.
All right. That's perfect. Perfect intro. Tell me about Dear Rosie.
Oh, sure. So Dear Rosie is a story about three friends. It's a middle grade story. Four friends. I'm messing up already, but four friends, they lose one of the friends in their friend group, and it's a story about how they kind of go through the loss process of grieving and loss. It's based on our own real life stories, and it's also kind of a love letter to our hometown, Frederick, Maryland, where we grew up. So all the animals are local wildlife, and yeah.
That's awesome. So I know you said this was based on experiences you went through. How did you decide to make this into a book?
So this was a story we were always interested in telling. When our friend Annalie passed away, we were like, let's try to come up with an idea. Like, we wanted to make a story that was a mystery. So in the story, the girls find this notebook, and this notebook has this like special symbol on it that their friend used to draw, and they're like, does that have something to do with their friends? We're like, let's do a mystery for the story about grief. So it's like a combination adventure and healing journey. But yeah, we wanted to experience those memories again with our friends and really just craft a story to show the world what it was like to have this friend group and what it was like to grow up in this special place to us.
It sounds very touching. How did you go about your process? Did you do the writing? Did you do illustrating? Or was it both?
It's a little complicated. It's pretty much both to keep it short. Meghan and I both did stories. She did most of the writing along with her husband, Tom Pickwood. And then for drawing, it was pretty half and half. Meghan designed the characters, I thumbnailed, and then drawing was split pretty much half and half. And it was all three of us coloring in the end. So it was, a little chaotic, but it worked for us.
Collaborative effort. Did that work because you had a friendship already?
Yeah, we've known each other since grade school. We were actually mortal enemies when we first met. Because we were both the most serious artists in our school, and I was like, Rachael is too good at drawing, she sucks. And Rachael thought the same thing, apparently. And then years later, we're like, well, we could be friends instead, because we were the only two people who care about art, and then we're stronger together, and then we have a healthy rivalry to encourage us to become better artists. But
a happy ending.
Yeah, because of that, we were definitely have many years of friendship to build upon when doing a collaborative project.
Were you at all discouraged when you were putting this book together? Because I'm sure it was a labor of love telling the story and also working together. Did you face any discouragement or?
I think in the beginning, because we had pitched a couple other projects beforehand that weren't going anywhere, and it kind of felt like it was hopeless. You just keep pitching, keep hearing no's. Once this got picked up, I don't know, I don't want to say it's smooth sailing, but it went pretty well, yeah.
It was pretty encouraging once we got this book picked up. The pitching process is very soul-crushing, but
tell me about that.
Well, so we would make a pitch, and we had two agents that would then submit to editors, and then you submit this pitch out that you spent 4 or 5 months on, and then they take 4 to 8 weeks to respond, and they'll just say, I'm not interested, thanks. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I just spent many months of my life on this. But eventually, when this one got picked up, the editor was very interested and really wanted to work with us and see this story to completion.
Yeah.
So,
what was it like to finally see it done?
Very surreal. And honestly, it still is a little bit. To be like, oh, we finished this more than a year ago. It just came out a couple months ago because there's a lot of lead time for printing. But to be like, we just spent 8 months nonstop working on this project, and now here it is, in our hands.
Right.
Yeah, it's very surreal. The world of publishing is very different from anything that we're used to, and it's still a mystery. Even though we've published a book now, it's still a giant mystery. But yeah, we're in a process of pitching another book, and it remains strange and surreal.
It's very inspiring to see two women, two friends doing this. Do you want to talk about that, about being female creators in this space?
I think that it's hard to say, because I feel like in the world of comics as a whole, there's not a lot of female artists. In the world of graphic novels, there's a little bit more, but people kind of expect more stories for kids, and this is a story for children, which we like, but I don't know. Some people don't take you seriously. They're like, oh, well, And they also don't necessarily take you seriously as a writer. They'll take you more seriously as an artist. They'll be like, oh yeah, women can draw, but they can't write. And you're like, well, we can also write things.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't have much to add. There are a lot of like really big names in the middle grade space who are women, so I think it is luckily it's a very successful field for women.
I wanted to ask you about it being a middle grade book, and that's actually popular among adults too. So yeah, is this something that anyone will enjoy, even though it is middle grade? Yeah.
I think both of us would say that middle grade is probably one of our favorite genres to read because it is so universal and just heartwarming a lot of times. So good stories.
Books that are catered towards children, there's themes that are really important that adults really enjoy. And so I think that, yes, kind of ages 8 and up for this book, everyone would enjoy it.
Awesome. So pick it up. And what do you hope people get if they do pick up your book or when they pick up your book?
I hope that you get a lovely story about friendship and healing, and that you fall in love with our characters in our hometown the way we did.
Yeah, I hope it's uplifting, maybe a little cathartic, and teaches you about friendship and the complications of grief and how difficult it is, but also, again, uplifting in the end.
A feel-good story. Yes, definitely. And I love your costume, by the way. Is this one of the characters?
This is not. I draw moths on the side, so I just like being a moth fairy. That's about it.
Moth fairy. Okay, I love it. And how is it to be here at the LA Comic Con? Is this your first time here?
It is our first time tabling, and it is the biggest con that we've ever tabled at. So it's a little overwhelming, but it's also very exciting, and we're hopeful that the weekend goes well. So,
anything to add?
Oh, it's fun. It's good energy. Good time so far.
And since we are here at the Comic Con, do you have any comic character that you specifically love, or any superhero, anyone that you can relate to?
This is probably not quite what you were asking, but there was a Thumbelina cosplay here yesterday, and it warmed my soul. It was great. It was beautiful.
I like Pikachu a lot. I don't know if that counts as a comic character.
It counts,
but sure.
It counts. I think we've seen a few Pikachu characters here. Awesome. Anything else you want to add? Where they can find you?
You can find us on Instagram if you look up Dear Rosie on the internet, you'll find us at Meghan Boehman and Rachael Briner. Those are our handles on Instagram, Twitter, our websites, whatever.
Do you want to let everyone know to be sure to pick it up?
Yes, be sure to pick it up. You can find it on, I believe, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. All of the major retailers should sell it. So,
most independent bookstores should have it as well.
And it's Dear Rosie. It looks absolutely adorable. And with Meghan and Rachael, I'm CeCee Torres here at LA Comic Con with IdeateTV.